stars. The show's actually starting right now. And thanks for coming.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
We got this drum beat that kicks in right here, and then I go, tonight on Tom Green Live, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin here. Oh my gosh, everybody. We have people here. We have people in the studio. And we have an amazing, talented actor. Rick Hoffman is here.
Yes.
Rick, how's it going?
I'm doing great.
And
Thanks, Tom.
these guys just did a movie together. Big time, giant movie that's coming out called The Condemned. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're taking your calls on Skype. And we are taking your calls on the telephone. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're here for an hour. It's Friday. I'm actually really excited about that. I was trying to decide whether I would wear that hat. Do you think I should wear that hat, Steve? Should I call you Steve? Should I call you Stone Cold?
Call me Steve. It sounds like a good idea. I've been called a lot worse. Let's stick with Steve. I think the hat's a good call. What do you think?
I thought it was great.
You do, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel better, because I didn't want to appear rude throwing on a hat. But Wee Man was here last night from Jackass, and he gave me this hat. And, you know, I just felt so much better wearing it for some reason in the second half of the show. It kind of really picked up my... Because I think I get nervous about my hair a lot.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
It makes me feel more comfortable that you're wearing the hat.
It does?
Yeah.
It's kind of a silly thing.
No, not that
I'm picking up a whole different vibe now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's like a Curious George kind of thing. Like the man in the yellow hat. Remember he had the...
Yeah, the man with the, But it's casual Friday, so you can really do whatever. I mean, you can even, if you want, you can, you know...
Take the jacket off.
Pretty much, it's, you know...
Really? Is it that casual Friday?
Yeah, that's what they say.
You're right.
I kind of like the jacket.
You like the jacket?
I like the jacket. That's good.
See, come on.
Hey.
Now, how was it doing this movie? Let's just start with talk about the movie right away, because this is an exciting thing. You've been on a whirlwind press tour for this. I just read you were in Toronto, so you know you must be going around publicizing this if you went all the way up there, right?
Yeah, we're hitting seems like every big city in the United States. It's been a lot of fun. I'm a little bit dragged out right now, trying to keep the energy up. Haven't slept a whole lot in about 12 days, but it's been a lot of fun. And this is a hard movie. The Condemned is a hard action movie. As our illustrious director, Scott Weiper, likes to say, it's authentic and unapologetic. And it's a hard action movie. It's very violent, but there's some humor in there. And the bottom line is, you see what you get on the screen is a great action movie. But we had so much fun behind the scenes making this thing. It was one practical joke after another. It was my first time to get a chance to meet Rick. And we had Vinnie Jones, our partner in crime. So there was so much fun going on behind the set. I think that it bleeds onto the screen. No pun intended. But it was a blast to make.
Yeah. Had you seen Rick's movie Hostel before you met him?
I saw that, and I was so excited that he's going to be a part of this thing, because I've seen this movie with about 6 different crowds across the United States, and the character that he plays, Goldman. I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but very interesting stuff, and the crowd response. This is, I don't want to say Rocky Horror Picture Show, because this is nothing like that, but people jump on this thing for the ride, and it's a good ride, and they enjoy the movie, and Rick is a real big part of it.
The general premise, what, it's 12 convicts, or a certain number of convicts who are on death row, and they get dropped off on an island for a reality game show that is...
Well, there's 10 convicts all condemned to die on death row in various prisons throughout the world. A wealthy TV producer buys them out of these prisons, places them on the island, and forces them to fight to the death. Now, while this is all going on, he's going to broadcast this like this via the World Wide Web over the internet. So for $49.99, you can log on and watch living, breathing human beings kill each other. They're in it for survival, but you can watch for the kicks.
Yeah. And then do you, obviously you gotta, I don't know how, you can't give away the ending, but you gotta bust off the island at the end and destroy the whole TV station, right?
Someone's got to.
You blow up the entire station?
Someone's got to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I thought it was originally, they told me it was like beaches, but I then realized once I was down there that it was not really like that at all. And then found out that I was going to be, you know, in a movie that Steve Stone Cold was in, and I got really excited. And to add to what Steve was saying, nobody on this job had any ego, and I think that's why everybody had such a good sense of humor of themselves. That's why everybody got along so well, and it just got ridiculous as far as how many pranks that this maniac.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you hear it all the time. You hear it all the time. Like, you know, oh, it was so crazy. We did. but he's out of his mind when it comes to those types of.
What were some of the these were actually good pranks here we're talking about?
They were good
I can
pranks.
tell because Rick's a funny guy, and he seems like what was one of the pranks?
All right. Well, I would say this is actually sick because what happened was that I got. You hear these stories about people like girl gets stung by bee and dies.
Yeah.
Somebody eats a peanut, dies. So I don't really have any allergies, but we were shooting up in the mountain, in this big scene in the mountain, and I, on the way up, said, hey, let's stop and get some fudge. Why not get some fudge? So the driver said, yeah, let's get some fudge. So then she said, hey, do you want some wasabi macadamias? It's like, sure. Are you kidding? I love wasabi macadamias. So I popped I'd say about a half the bag, right? On the way,
like a 10-pound bag.
Yeah.
on the way down the mountain, it was pulling like that scene from Hitch where, it was like that, and then like all of a sudden it was like, and then like my lungs started closing, which was interesting, and then couldn't breathe on the rest of the drive down, and thank God the driver.
For real.
Dude, Tom, I'm telling you.
Oh. This doesn't sound like a prank though. This sounds
well,
like
no, you'll see. Because what happens is that it was just me and the driver, and thank God the driver came back to check on me, and it was getting worse and worse. Went to the hospital. The doctor, they put me in the big garden hose in my arm. They treated me with medication. They said, had you come in 15 minutes later, you would have had brain complications because there wasn't enough oxygen in the brain.
Wow.
The oxygen saturation was really low. So of course these guys, I'm telling Vinny and I tell Steve, thinking that there'd be some empathy.
Sure.
I got nothing but like complete. I mean, he was hysterical. Vinny was hysterical, and Steve then would write. He would leave maybe like 15 pictures of himself in my trailer, each one saying, "I hope you die on another macadamia, you asshole."
But was there some preparation H in the macadamia? Was there a real allergy?
Here's what they say. They say you should never in a foreign country eat something off of a farm.
Right.
And I think it was. I don't know to this day, but he won't stop making fun of me, and everything's about a macadamia. I mean, honestly, it really gets old.
Sounds like it wasn't that big a deal.
But it wasn't a big deal.
Sounds like
just
you
the fact
were just
that
making a big deal out
But
of
this is
it.
in front of the entire cast and crew, being humiliated about a nut.
Yeah. See, the thing
doesn't
is,
really do.
Stone Cold has seen it all. He's fought giant, massive fights in front of huge stadiums. Macadamia nuts not going to do
But I
it.
think this was kind of the attitude of the cast and crew and the Condemned. I mean, for Rick Hoffman to buckle up after a near-death experience with a macadamia nut, and to say, you know what, I've been near the brink of death. I saw the white light, but God damn it, we've got a film to make, and it's called The Condemned. And here he comes, and here he is. I'm gonna give him a round of applause all by myself.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
So wait, what was now? I can assume.
Yeah.
You're the hero of the movie, right? You must be the good death row inmate, right? Is that how it works?
I don't want to say too much. I'm in prison for doing some bad things, and I get bought out of the prison by the TV producer and placed on the island with 9 other cats.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool. Is he the TV producer? Or?
No, he's what would you say?
I run the show.
He's great. He's great.
Check this out. Have you seen this website yet? We can cut to it and we can look at they've got video games on there and stuff.
Yeah.
And we can also, let me show you a couple of things we can do here, guys. We've got YouTube. Here's The Rock versus Stone Cold. Now, you like fighting The Rock, right? I read somewhere that you would like to be able to go in the ring with him again. Is that true?
One of my favorite opponents, Bret the Hitman Hart, one of my favorites. But The Rock, I brought out the best in him. He brought out the best in me, and there was an electricity. We both got in the ring, and that was a great experience working with that guy.
You remember this fight here? Can you remember how many fights have you been in the wrestling ring? How many times?
You know what? You don't count them. You just over the years they pile up. You go up and down the road. You're on the road close to 275 days a year, and you just go out and do it. This was a new indoor attendance record in the Astrodome, and WrestleMania 17. Myself and The Rock headlining the card.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can remember. Yep, I won that match. I don't know how I did it.
Did Rock ever win against you? No.
Yeah, he
It's
won.
kind of a back and forth thing.
No, he won the last match we had, WrestleMania 19 in Seattle, and he got the upper hand. I don't know how he did it.
When was the first time you wrestled? Like you were a football player before, right? And then you decided to do this? Is it something that you'd always done, wrestling, or is it something that you just went and did one day after football?
No, I grew up in a small town in South Texas, and flipping channels one day, I came up on a wrestling program. I saw two guys out there fighting for a championship belt, and this is way before all the high production values and stuff like that. And it was just something about the, back then it was a sport, because if you had to believe anything, you believed it was real. So I watched wrestling my whole life. I got a football scholarship to North Texas State, which is in Denton, Texas, right outside of Dallas. Well, if you're right by Dallas, then you go down to the Sportatorium, a very famous building in Texas, and you watch the Von Erichs fight the Freebirds. The Von Erichs were gods in Texas. So I drive down there, and we'd go out there and drink beer and throw stuff at the wrestlers and cuss at them and yell at them like you're supposed to. And then finally, my football scholarship ran out, and I needed something to do. I was working on a freight dock, loading and unloading trucks, driving a forklift, and there was one of the wrestlers who had a commercial, and there was about his wrestling school. So I went down to the Sportatorium for $45, listened to the seminar, and then I signed up. 5 months later, I had my first match. I starved for 2 years and got a little bit of a break, and got a lot of things happened, and then
so what's that
fast
like?
forward into the WWE and then Stone Cold.
So during those 2 years, you're touring around wrestling and trying to make it as a wrestler. Is that how it works? You start touring right away, or
you don't start touring right away. It all depends on you, the system you're in. What kind of talent they need, and what your ability is in the ring. When I first started out, I was rotten. Just like anybody, I was green. And you go up and down the road, and you're doing 400+ mile round trips, and you're making $15 to $20 a night. So when you got to travel that kind of distance, and you're trying to eat, like at least once a day, it's tough to make ends meet. And that's paying your dues.
And then getting pile drived and
you get all that. No, you get that. That's the bonus plan.
Yeah. That's the fun part, really. Was the adrenaline a big part of it?
Oh yeah, paying your dues is the fun part, but certainly when you start making money and you start packing the crowd in, let me tell you something, you can go out there and wrestle in front of 50 people and things hurt a lot, but when you go out there in front of 20,000, you really don't feel too much.
Yeah.
And it's an adrenaline rush that you can't explain, and there's nothing else like it.
What was the moment during that 2 years, when you realized, oh, wait a minute, this is getting bigger than just sort of, I'm not just a good wrestler now. This is getting huge, and you were overwhelmed. And was there ever a moment when you just couldn't really, where you felt a turning point?
No, it took really 7 years before I got a break, and when I came to the WWE, which was the WWF at the time, and came in with a silly name, and after 6 months of doing that, I came up with the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing, and just by being at the right place at the right time, got a break, and then got a little bit of a push, as we say in the business, and things really started escalating and getting white hot. And I never just started going, hey, this is turning into something that's crazy. We just rode the lightning bolt and just kept, throwing logs to the fire, and it got bigger and bigger, and then I started feuding with Vince McMahon. And pro wrestling is kind of more or less a blue collar sport. But because of the storyline, because of the stuff that we were doing, the envelopes that we were pushing, we had the lawyers, the doctors, and everybody watching. And it was a crazy time, and probably the best time for pro wrestling.
Are you and Vince McMahon on good terms now, or?
Well, we better be on good terms. We just spent a lot of money making this movie, The Condemned.
Oh, yeah, he's involved with the movie.
Absolutely,
okay.
This is done by...
You guys were really, really angry at each other for a while.
Well, don't get me wrong. We did a lot of stuff, on TV that was for storyline, but make no mistake about it, when you have two very strong egos and you're doing big business, and it comes time for big decisions to be made, and there's a disagreement, well, there's a clash. And we've clashed many times, and one time, I left the company for about a year, because I was pissed off, and I didn't think I was being treated right. And a big problem on the lack of communication on my part. I learned a lot from that. I lost a lot of money from that. But it took a good friend of mine, Jim Ross, our announcer, to patch these two egos and these two businessmen back up. And
who you just inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and but anyway, things are good. This is a couple of years ago, and things are good. And this is the first picture of a 3-picture deal with WWE Films, and I'm looking forward to to big things. I'm really, really proud of this movie. I can't say that enough. And you know, the proof is, you know, what you see on the screen. And you know, Rick was there. We had a good time, and I think it comes through in the movie.
So this is WW Films. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, sorry.
Distributed by Lionsgate.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. So and Vince McMahon is part of it. And is he on the set? Is he in Australia when you're making this movie?
No, he was too busy. They just started another TV show, the ECW brand. He was going to try to come out, but just too much business on his end. And you know, someone asked me today, you know, how hands-on was Vince McMahon? And I said, you know, in the creative stages, very hands-on because it's his money. But when he hired our director, Scott Weiper, who rewrote the script 9 times and then cast everybody and then directed it, he took a hands-off approach and just said, you know, he trusted Scott because he hired the guy to go make a movie. And that's what Scott did, and he kicked ass. He made a hell of a movie, and he earned everybody's respect on the set.
I think we have do we have the trailer on the computer, or is it in the? Look, we can actually take. Can you stand this way, Rex, please? Stand
How old is that bird?
This is Rex, and Rex Murphy is 2.5 years old.
And
I've had her about
like
a year.
100, right?
They live to be 100,
Yeah.
they say. So I'm gonna have to will her to somebody. But we can take calls here from around the world on this Skype thing, which is a free video conferencing service that anybody can use. And you can go to skype.com if you want to see us while you talk to, oh, this is a guy in an animal costume here. I'm going to get rid of that guy. See, these are these freaks that call up in these animal costumes every night from, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of them. I'm going to hang up on the, oh, here's a guy. He's got a microphone, Mike Schaefer. Hey, Mike, how you doing? You're on the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin right now and Rick Hoffman from Condemned.
Green, Stone Cold, what is going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out.
I got a question for Stone Cold.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Tom, I just want to say your show is awesome. What you're doing is really amazing, first of all. But Stone Cold, as you can see, I'm rocking the bald head look myself. Less than 12 hours ago, I had a full head of hair. I'm a radio DJ, and I had to shave my head on the air today. And I wanted to know, what is your shaving regimen? How do I get it nice and shiny? Like,
Wait a minute, this guy says he shaved his head today because you're here. Did you shave your head today because you're here?
Well, no, I shaved my head today because I'm a radio DJ,
Okay.
and I had shaved for an on-air stunt.
Oh, for another stunt. Nothing to
hair.
do with the fact that Stone Cold's here. Because you guys look a little similarity going on there now.
So what was your question?
My question is, what's your shaving regimen, man? How do you do it? Because if you could see,
These are the kinds of questions we get on the show. What's your shaving regimen?
I don't know how you like yours.
Come on.
Well, let me tell you something. You got to go with the grain. Don't go against the grain. Go with the grain. Now, if I'm out doing the stuff that I'm doing and I'm trying to look presentable or nice, and I don't dress nice, but to look presentable, I shave every day. Now, if I'm on my downtime and I'm not doing anything, I don't have to be anywhere to impress anybody, then I'll let mine go for probably 6-7 days at a time. But the key is go with the grain and knock it off every day.
Go with the grain. Go with the grain every day.
Thanks, man. Hey, Tom, barrel roll.
Thank you. This is they got these codes. The kids online have these codes. They're trying to drive me crazy. Yeah, they have these competitions with each other to say words like barrel roll.
Oh.
Now they're calling in animal costumes just to try to screw with me, basically, just to try to drive me crazy.
Barrel roll, like barrel.
I think the purpose of saying it is the fact that there is no reason to say it. It's not even really mildly humorous. It's just confusing. But
now that I hear that, I think it's mildly amusing.
Yeah, you sort of have, it flips over eventually. It does actually. It's these guys at 4chan.org.
I'm going to go for a barrel roll when we get through this interview. How about you?
I'm in barrel roll.
And here's a guy on a webcam here. Webcam Max. Hey, what's going on, Max? How are you?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Stone Cold?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Max?
Oh, that's just on there. I don't know why. My name is Paul, though.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, wow, Tom Green, you are a
sense.
legend. Seriously.
Makes perfect sense. The Webcam Max.
Whoa, who was
Hold
that?
on, I think
there,
I'm seeing
Paul?
things.
Oh,
I think
that's my friend
macadamia
from Texas, Caesar Leo. They call him that.
So do you have a question for Stone Cold?
Yes. I was wondering, what is your opinion on the ECW brand, and you think you'll be involved in any of the storylines?
The ECW brand, I'm happy they have it because it gives some of the guys a different stage or platform to do their thing. It's obviously not like the original ECW, which Paul Heyman or Paulie Dangerously started years ago. Paulie was a good friend of mine and he helped me out so much. different brand. They've toned it down a lot. I don't think you can go, too overboard with the brutality and the calamity in the ring, because it's just very conducive to short-term careers. And will I be a part of it? I don't think so. I'm trying to find a script to start another movie, and busy out trying to push The Condemned. But I wish all the guys on that show safe health and a great career.
Do you like Schnitzky?
Yeah, he's a different kind of cat. He's
awesome.
Guy. Yeah, if he can put together a little bit more of the character or gimmick type thing, then he can do very well. He's a nice guy out of the ring. I'll say that.
He decapitates people, takes their heads off.
That's illegal,
Hey, Tom Green, seriously, you are awesome.
Thanks, man.
You are a legend.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
I got this tape.
Cheers. See you later. Hey,
the brutality.
No, but he can email me back, but don't make everyone around here uncomfortable talking about the web show. Yeah. We know what it is. Okay. Hey, where's that cool list that we printed out today of all the terminology? I wanted to ask you, Steve, about all the terminology, because wrestling. How long has wrestling in its sort of really been going on for in the way that it is now with the showmanship? It was a carny thing.
Well, yeah, it's always about the showmanship. It goes back to the old days in the carnivals.
Yeah.
And that's why, there's language, there's lingo, there's all kinds of stuff.
I did a search today on the internet and started reading about it, and then I saw a list of professional wrestling slang, which I didn't even really realize existed. And it's 30 or 40 pages long. And I started reading about it. I found it quite interesting how they talked about how, this was originally in the carnivals a way of not letting people in on what was necessarily maybe going to occur in the match. And but do you know all these words? Would you know most of them, or how's that work?
Well, with the looks of that list,
like
I probably
canned
know
heat.
about 3 of them.
You know what canned heat is?
I have no idea. It was a movie a long time ago,
It was
wasn't
a song by Jamiroquai.
Brocking. What about brocking?
Who?
Brocking. No?
I did that earlier today. It wasn't very good. My stomach's better, though.
How about,
Sorry about that. I think it was the macadamia nut.
There's got to be some here. Libby's here. Wait. How about blading? You know what blading is?
No.
That's the act of cutting oneself or another person in order to
I've heard
bleed.
of that.
Usually done on the forehead. Also called juicing.
Yeah.
Juicing.
Carney.
Carney. Carney Wilson.
A bump.
Carne Gasada. I'm sorry, I'm just like...
These aren't even real words, eh? This is just some
Some of them, I'm catching some. Give me another one.
A curtain jerker.
That's an opening match.
A curtain jerker?
Yeah.
First match on the card, or a wrestler who wrestles in the first match of the card, especially on a regular basis.
Because I used to be a curtain jerker. It is not your goal when you get into professional wrestling to be a curtain jerker. That means you're basically, you're the opening match, and that means you're probably not making a lot of money. You want to be the main event.
Right, you're the warm-up, huh?
Exactly.
The double juice, enforcer, extended hope, extreme wrestling, false comeback, when a face mounts a brief offensive flurry before losing it to a heel wrestler. Do you know what's a heel wrestler?
Heel's the bad guy.
Heel's the bad guy.
Babyface is a good guy.
Yeah, and a baby face is the good guy. That's what I was reading about today.
Right.
And you were the first big heel that came out, was a bad guy that maintained the audience. And the audience still liked you as a bad guy. Is that true? Or the first
it was a weird thing when I came to the World Wrestling Entertainment years ago. I came in as a heel, then I came up with the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. But it was my job to be the most hated person in the world in a professional wrestling ring, and I tried, and for a while I was hated. But then for some reason, I think I was becoming so entertaining, talking so much trash that I grew up listening to in South Texas. For some reason, my version of the heel became. They started liking me. So in a world of black and white, good versus bad, I became that gray area. And then by just basically repositioning me, instead of working with baby faces, I started working with the heels, and in a sense turned into a baby face. And we never waved that flag, but it's just it's an interesting thing. And when you go to push a heel or baby face, you use basically your traditional psychology and how you work with this cat. But with a guy like myself, everything is different because it's all backwards, because I'm being liked for all the wrong reasons.
Right,
right.
right.
It It was a fun ride and a very interesting ride.
Yeah, I just found it interesting reading about it because I'd never really seen it sort of put in concrete terms like that. Yeah, that's cool. Ham and Egger.
Now, what is a ham and egg? I don't.
Ham and Egger. It's a jobber.
Oh, okay. That's a guy that gets beat a lot.
It's a term originates from the salaries paid to. That's not a good one anyway.
We don't
I don't even know what it is.
We don't use a ham and egg.
Head drop. What was the
word?
word? You know, you had a fairly severe injury. Was that the last wrestling match you did when you were injured?
No, that happened in 1996. I got dropped on my head in front of 20,000 people, and on a pay-per-view, and for about 90 seconds was a transit quadriplegic for there. And I remember laying in the middle of the ring in front of 20,000 people, and I couldn't move, and I was really worried. I thought laying there that I was going to be the next Christopher Reeve. Yeah. I remember looking up at the referee and telling him, I said, tell him not to touch me because I can't move. Yeah. Until I kind of, finally put things together. My hands wouldn't work. I was able to get on my hands and my knees and my forearms and finish the match. But yeah, it kind of took its toll. But I'm 99% now. Yeah, it was you were paralyzed for a few minutes there. Yeah, about 90 seconds. Yeah. It was during a pile driver. Was Bret Hart? No, that was Owen. Oh, Owen Hart. Owen Hart. Yeah. Is he Canadian? Yeah, they're from Calgary. Yeah, and he just, those Canadians are tough. That's the thing. They are. There have been some great wrestlers come from Canada, particularly the Calgary Stampede area. Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's huge up there, isn't it? It is. Is it when you go to Canada? We have a lot of Canadians that watch the show, and when you go to Canada, is it a different kind of response than an American response or a European response, or is it just the same kind of pandemonium everywhere now? You know what? For some guys, it is. For me, it was still pandemonium. I was always very successful in Canada. Those people treated me absolutely wonderful. So, absolutely. Oh, well, okay, we got these guys look excited here. Derek, how are you, Derek?
I'm good.
I recognize this guy from I know.
Yeah, my friend.
How you guys doing?
My friend has a question for Rick. I'm gonna toast Stone Cold later.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You guys. I'm sure gonna go. You want to grab another beer? Let me grab a beer for you.
Right. Sure.
I'll go grab one. You guys talk to these guys. Okay. I got a camera out there. In the kitchen now, we got a camera in the fridge for the first time, and I went down to the which were you looking at, a Colt 45 or
Miller Lite this time?
I'll take Miller Lite as well.
Miller Lite. Let's cut to this camera too and show everyone. Look at this. I'm going to open the fridge cam. Is it working? I went down.
Yeah, it's working.
Steve, I went down to the corner store today, and I got some Old English.
Yeah.
And I got some Colt 45.
You're going to be in the post movie.
Some Miller Lite.
Yeah. And I am going to be in the post. Yes.
Miller Lite. I got Miller Lite.
Yeah. The movie Postal with Zach Ward. Yeah. How did you know about that movie?
Oh, I knew about it because
these guys on the internet know everything.
I found out there was a movie.
Did they show a trailer for that yet?
Yeah, they got a website on it. If you look it up on Google, it's right there.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got to check that out. Yeah, that was fun. You know what it's about, right? It's about a guy, just an ordinary guy who just goes nuts throughout his day, and it's supposed to basically be like Falling Down, but a farce.
Tell me about that. Let's talk for a second, Rick, about this scene in Hostel, which has got to be one of the most shocking scenes in any movie ever. The Quentin Tarantino movie, right?
Eli Roth directed and Quentin Tarantino exec produced it. Originally, the role was going to go to Quentin, and then I guess they decided that they wanted somebody who nobody recognizes. So they called.
No.
So wait. So they called.
No, there was no way after they saw you do that. It was the whole movie. It was the most intense.
It's comedy. I'm just trying to be. No. So what happened is Eli had seen a movie Cellular that I had done for New Line. And liked that role, and they asked me within 2 daes to fly to Prague and do this ridiculous, it was a scene of my first day was blowtorching a Japanese girl's eye out of her socket.
Yeah.
And then I had to deal with the scene.
She gets jumps in front of the train at the end of the movie,
too, right? Yeah, because she can't, because she's completely
couldn't see the train?
Shocked. She could, right. No, she was shot. Yeah, and then the real challenge was like what there's a scene before that in the locker room where I have to sort of get amped up to do it, and that was like as far as acting is concerned.
That was pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
It was quite a challenge because it's like how do you actually get to that point? Where can I like try to think back of like what experience I've had to get to that point to blowtorch somebody's eye out of their socket.
And the way it's shot, and it's just so grotesque, but in an amazing way if you're into horror films and things like this. I mean, what did you think the first time you saw it, though? That's what I want to know, because
I was thrilled.
When you're there, it's different. You're there, it's probably a little more clinical. But when you see it, were you scared?
I was.
No,
to be honest with you, I couldn't watch a horror film before doing that movie.
Yeah.
To the age of 33, I couldn't watch anything.
I like that too. I can't do that.
So once hanging out with this fantastic actress Jennifer Lim, and then doing it, the next when I got back, I'm like, bring anything on. I can watch any. I don't know what it was. It cured the phobia.
Yeah. Sort of saw behind
story,
it.
Though. You got to do the behind the scenes story.
Oh, behind the scenes. So basically, in the locker room. It's kind of like a macadamia nut story. Basically, in the locker room scene, I'm doing my crazy whatever, and I'm banging my head against with a gun. That was the first take where they have to stop.
Kind of like the macadamia nut thing.
Well, I gave myself a concussion and couldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Couldn't.
Oh,
yeah, and I. Had to be hospitalized, but that happened, and I had to stop production because I was bleeding down.
Wait, you
the side
hit
of my
yourself
head.
so hard in the head with a gun?
I was into the part.
Wow.
Tom. I
That's
don't know.
embarrassing, though.
It was quite embarrassing because there's a gigantic lump. You'll notice it now if you saw it. There's this big lump on the side of my head, and they had to patch it up with fake skin. I just gashed my head with a gun.
Well, I think people should go see that movie.
He barrel rolled up, finished that scene, and then that displayed the same type of determination in the Condemned.
Oh yeah.
Kinda, sort of.
Beyond the Call of Duty, my friend.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Except I had how many more chins according to you, Steve?
Hey, come on.
Oh no, let's talk. You got to talk about the chins.
Wait,
Talk
this is
about
cool.
the chins.
Look at this for a second. This is cool. This is in Canada. I saw this today, and this is when you do some beer bash with Goldberg, and they're bringing out the beer out in Canada. That looks like people love the beer bash. Is that something that you did?
A good old beer bash.
Did you do that all the time, a lot on stage, or was that?
I got to doing it so much. It got to be a deal where I was getting paid for drinking and kind of wrestling on the side.
So would you be wrestling, having had a few beers?
Oh no, never. That was always after. That was always afterwards in the celebration. You when you go to the ring, a guy's giving you his body to trust, and vice versa. So you go to the ring straight as an arrow.
Is it just as much fun getting up on stage when you're not actually wrestling? When you're getting up and singing? I saw you singing "America the Beautiful" on YouTube, and
there was different phases of my career when I tried to turn heel, and it kind of backfired on me because people didn't want to hate me. I was trying to do something because I had broke 3 vertebrae in my back, in my lower back, so I couldn't wrestle. Now nobody knew this, but that's the reason that I kind of resorted to those tactics, and basically it was just out of a hunger to try to entertain the crowd, and then just try to be a heel that no one wanted to hate it and incapacitated at the same time. So there's been a lot going on behind the scenes that you can't always tell the people, but that's one of the decisions that I made, and that's why I did it, just to try to do something to keep the people.
Yeah, let's take some calls on the phone from society. We can just hit it. We have no call screener here. But and this is the CB radio.
I want to try to call somebody.
This
on this
should
thing
be
a little
hooked
bit.
up.
Is it
We've
on?
yeah, it's on. You're on the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rick Hoffman. We've got the CB radio here. Derek, thanks for calling, guys. Do you have any last questions? Any parting comments?
Hello, sir.
I can't think of anything. Toast.
Toast. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers.
You got it.
Cheers, Rick.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll pop you off there. Those guys are good. And let's put a few more Skype people on hold there, Logan. And let's take a bunch of calls on the phone now. Now, if you've been trying to call on the phone, we haven't been answering. Now we're going to answer the phone. And we're going to take a whole bunch of calls because everyone's been emailing me essentially for weeks saying that I have to take a whole bunch of phone calls. It's the easiest way for people to communicate with us here. This thing is kind of never works. So you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, whoever you are, where are you calling from?
Yes, I am Grover from Anchorage, Alaska, and I have a couple questions for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Absolutely. He's sitting right here.
The first one is, I was wondering if you could discuss maybe getting fired via FedEx by Eric Bischoff, and I was wondering if you could discuss your marriage to Deborah McMichael and how you...
Talking about the first one. Yeah. I just hung out. He's watching, but what's the first one? You were fired by...
Oh, basically, you know, I tore my tricep off my elbow in Japan.
Yeah.
On the third day of a 3-week tour. So basically, you know, you got to kind of barrel roll up and stay with the program. So I wrestled for 2.5 months with a torn tricep. When I returned back to the States, I had it reattached. During the rehabilitation process, I got a phone call from the guy that was running WCW. And he said, you know, Steve, based on the amount of money we're paying you and the amount of days you've been incapacitated, we're going to go ahead and exercise our right to terminate the agreement. And that's a lot of big syllable words. So I basically said, and that was verbatim. And I said, well, basically, you're telling me I'm fired, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, you're going to give me something in writing. And so, yeah, we'll send you a FedEx tomorrow. So fired over the phone, FedEx next day to drive the final nail in the coffin. And that was it.
That's not
bad. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I got to go to the WWE.
Yeah. There's a lot of politics in wrestling. Right?
A little bit.
People wouldn't probably, well, I guess they play it up a lot of it, but there's probably a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that we never see, right?
There's a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes you don't see.
Hey, you're on the air. You're on the air.
Huh?
You are on the air.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, go ahead. We're all sitting here listening to you.
Stone Cold there?
Yeah, he's right here.
Sweet.
Sweet. It's, yeah, so go ahead and ask a question or something.
All right. Hey, Stone Cold, when do you think you're going to come back to Arizona?
I was just in Arizona 2 days ago. We were in Phoenix doing a screening for The Condemned. I sat there with about 200 people. We watched the movie and we did a Q&A afterwards. And I was staying over there at that Mondrian Hotel. And it was a good time. You should have been there. You didn't hear about it?
Not really in a way, but I mean, I gotta say, you're probably the greatest wrestler in the world, and I wish I could have gotten your autograph and everything, you know?
Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the fact that you watched, and if you liked what I did in the ring, I guarantee you, I think you're gonna like what you see if you go see The Condemned, because it's a great movie, and we had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't want him to. I want him to finish.
I'm glad that I'm talking to you and everything, because quite frankly, I mean, I'm making up for Wednesday, and I'm glad I'm talking to you now, because I'm glad I'm catching on Tom Green's show, you know?
Hey, good to have you on. Thanks for calling. Cheers.
Yeah.
Nice kid. See, but it's funny because they just keep rolling. It's fun to me because see how the way it just lights up, and it's sort of a random thing, and you know, a lot of them are going to try to prank us, but you know, it's pretty good when you really just analyze it. You just kind of, hey, you're on the air. Who is it now? Where are you calling from?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
See, pretty good. This guy seems like a reasonably good guy right now.
Hello?
Yeah, you seem like a reasonably good guy, trustworthy.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Stone Cold like cheese.
Proves me wrong. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
You know, I'm so glad it's Friday night, to be honest with you. This is amazing.
Is it a full moon?
Steve Austin, how you doing?
I think it's a full moon.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Is this the actual Steve Austin I'm talking to?
Right now, yeah.
It sure feels like me.
Steve, I was wondering if that crash, if you think the rebuilding of your body is actually worth the $6 million that it costs.
It's a wrong Steve Austin. Now, Austin, though.
That guy just drove me to drink.
No, this is fun.
Hold on,
you just don't even want to respond.
Breaker 19 for radio check. Breaker, is anybody there? Come on, truckers, and talk to Teddy Bear. Got a red so bad for you, ladies and
They're going
gentlemen.
to respond to you. They never respond to me, but they'll respond to that.
Nothing. We got nothing.
Maybe you got to
climb up on the roof.
You got to say it's stone cold.
No, we got to climb up on the roof and check the antenna later.
Yeah, is the antenna working? It's plugged in, right? Have the CB radios gone out of vogue?
My God, that is hilarious. What's funny is that you get pounced on. It's out of your control. Like I don't even have to do anything to make fun of you. You have people making fun of you live.
But in Austin is not your real last name for everyone. Everyone knows this probably. But it was Austin, Texas, is where you're from, or is
I was born in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, and when you changed your name to that, you were a little worried at first that people might think it's a $6 million man.
No. I was born in Austin, Texas, Steve Anderson.
Yeah.
My parents got a divorce. We moved down to South Texas. My mom remarried a man named Ken Williams. the man she's still married to. And so then I started wrestling as Steve Williams for 2 months in Dallas, Texas. I went down to Tennessee, and the guy said, well, what's your name? And I said, Steve Williams. He goes, you can't be that here. And I said, why not? He goes, you just can't. It was because there's already a wrestler before me named Dr. Death Steve Williams, and there'd be confusion on the card. So I'm in Memphis, Tennessee at the Mid-South Coliseum in front of a bunch of guys I've never seen before and fixing to go out and wrestle. And the guy says, all right, you got 15 minutes to come up with a name. And I said, all right. So it comes over in 15 minutes, and I'm forced to make a decision that's going to affect the rest of my life. And he says, what'd you come up with? And I said, well, I didn't come up with nothing. He goes, okay, you're Steve Austin. And I said, well, I don't want to be Steve Austin, you know, because of the $6 million man. So he comes back, he goes, you got 5 minutes to come up with a name. Comes back in 5 minutes, what'd you come up with? I said, I didn't come up with nothing. He goes, okay, you're Steve Austin. That's how I got the name.
That's cool.
And then I said I was from Victoria, Texas, because I actually lived in Victoria, Texas. And you don't want to be Stone Cold Steve Austin from Austin. That's a little redundant.
You certainly don't want to be Stone Cold Steve Victoria.
That's probably a really, really good thing.
Doesn't sound too intimidating when
Stone
you're
Cold
getting
Steve Victoria from Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the air right now with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hey Tom, how's it going?
Good.
I just had a question for Austin. I was wondering if he watched any TNA wrestling and what his opinion was on that.
You know, I don't get a chance, you know, with my schedule to watch a whole lot of TNA wrestling. I've been asked that a lot on this tour. But I wish those guys all the luck. I think anytime there's professional wrestling and other guys are able to have jobs, I say, you know, more power to them. And I'd like to see those guys get their act together so it'd be competition for the WWE. Because I think competition
What do you think of Brian Kendrick and Paul London and CM Punk?
Well, hold on. I think competition is good. And let me tell you something about TNA. I think, you know, they could really take a giant step forward by going to a square ring rather than that six-sided ring or whatever. Change the ring, go to a square ring. And what did you ask me?
Yeah.
What was your other question?
Oh, I was wondering what your opinions were on Brian Kendrick, Paul London, and CM Punk, current WWE wrestlers.
You know who those guys are?
No,
you follow the current. You follow. Who are the top guys right now? You follow them?
Champions?
I know the CM Punk. I've got to meet him in the last couple of weeks. I think he could potentially have a bright career ahead of him. I think he's got a pretty interesting style. He's got a good look. If he just develops a little bit more on the persona or the character end, he could be a big money guy.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. I'm calling from Hamilton, Ontario, and I saw your concert last year at the Underground.
Oh yeah, the Underground in Hamilton.
Come back soon to Canada for the concert.
I love the Underground in Hamilton. Hello, Hamilton. Thanks for your call. It amazes me because, you know, we're not screening the calls here. You know, we don't have somebody prepping the people, and it's just amazing to me. I really have noticed it the last couple of weeks how massive online, especially, I guess, that wrestling is. I mean, because it's just people. I mean, randomly you pick a number. They have detailed questions. They know the names of all. Like this guy knows everything about wrestling here. This guy right here knows every single thing. Right? You have an in-depth and intellectual question for Stone Cold Steve Austin, whoever you are?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wow. A female caller. I didn't know women watched this show. I thought they were smarter than that, to be honest with you.
I have been, and unfortunately I've heard a lot of ladies call that have been a little bit inebriated. So
well,
I call sober.
Oh, a sober female caller. That's the first.
But from Bellingham, Washington, up here in the Northwest.
Okay, good.
And I just wanted to ask, Steve, do you consult any wrestlers?
You know, I talk to a lot of the guys that I think have some potential. I'm a big fan of Ken Kennedy. He's coming up. I think he could really be somebody. He could really be something if he finishes doing what he needs to do. The MVP guy, I think he's got a good aggressive style in the ring. He needs to change his outfit because that Power Ranger thing is not going to work. But I like his style in the ring. He needs to put a promo together, and you know, he's so green. He just needs a lot of work. But the guys that I like and guys that I see a future in, I think if Randy Orton could put it all together, he could be a big star. But he needs to develop a little bit more on the persona end. To answer your question, I talk to more people than that, and I love to try to help people out because it took me so long to figure it out, and it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I would think a lot of people look up to you.
What's that?
What did you say there?
I just said I would think a lot of wrestlers look up to you and then vying for your attention.
You can't tell them all the tricks, though. I mean, you can't tell them everything.
Well, you know, you gotta trial and error. You got to find out for yourself. You got to be willing to push the envelope. You got to be willing to go out on a limb. And sometimes I think it's a little corporate, and people are so scared of job security to go out and do that. But you got to go for it, man. And these guys need to just you got to go alpha and go for it.
Have you seen this? Have you ever seen backyard wrestling? I'm sure you've seen backyard wrestling. The videos. What do you when they're jumping off the roofs? The kids just from the.
Bad idea. And let me tell you something. If anybody's out there, which camera's on this guy?
Yeah.
Backyard wrestling is complete BS. A real fast road to nowhere. We've heard a lot of guys getting hurt, paralyzed, and stuff like that. I mean, when you see the men and women in WWE. They're trained to do what they do, and they're the best at doing what they do. So the backyard wrestling, leave it alone. It ain't worth a damn.
I remember when I was thanks for your call, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks. I remember when I was a kid, and wrestling was, I guess it was probably at the time it was Junkyard Dog, and Hulk Hogan, and all those guys, and I remember kind of nearly getting killed a couple of times, just goofing around in the backyard, and it's dangerous. People replicate this stuff. How do you warn them that at the beginning of the show, or just kids are just nuts, I guess, or?
Not in the beginning of a live show, but anytime WWE releases a DVD or something like that, a home video thing, we throw out the warning and say, that it is dangerous, and it is.
Like a pile driver, for instance, nearly paralyzed
you. Got me, so you got to be careful in anything you do, but especially we get these young kids trying to do stuff that you got to know the technique, or you're gonna wind up hurting somebody or getting killed.
Like jumping off this mess. How do you learn to do that?
I can't tell you that because I never jumped off anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't jump off a June bug.
Right.
Yeah. You ever heard that one before?
No.
Jumped off a June bug. It's about that high.
Is that a Texas?
No, I just made it up. Right
just now.
That's the ad-lib improvisational skills.
It just felt a little awkward when you said it.
That sounds like some folklore. Yeah.
I don't. Steve.
You don't get it?
Well, I mean, yes, I get it,
Steve.
Steve.
You're from New York, right?
A June bug is small.
You can jump off a cockroach.
Pal, I'm Jewish, dude. I get my vertical's like 2 inches. I can't jump off anything.
I got some big cockroaches over there. You're from New York, right?
Right, yeah. Okay. Jump off a June bug. Steve, I'm going to use it from now on, just like that, and barrel roll.
Yeah, barrel roll.
I can't wait to do my next barrel roll.
Oh! Hey, can you say barrel roll right into the camera to the people at 4chan? Because they would love that. They're an online group of kids, and just say 4chan barrel roll.
4chan?
4chan, yeah, they'll love it.
4chan barrel roll. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Because the thing is, they try to get me with this, but I just like to give back. I want the 4chan guys to have Stone Cold saying barrel roll for them. All right.
Break 19 for radio check.
Hey.
How about you, good buddy? What's your 20?
Oh man.
All right, never mind.
Hey, you're on the air. Now, can you believe it? It's 50 minutes have gone by, so there's only 10 minutes left. 5-0, just
10 minutes remaining.
Wow, that really
10 minutes remaining. So let's
fast.
Yeah, let's get everything in now because this is it, and then we can get on with our weekend, right? What do you got? You guys got big plans for the weekend?
I got problems with jumping off a June bug. I just didn't think that it was.
It just didn't feel
bug. Anything with bug doesn't sound like.
But you did Hostile.
What is it? What does that have to do with anything?
He can do anything now. You heard him a while ago.
Yeah, I actually like jump off a June bug myself. Yeah. It's a cute thing. It's like it sounds like a southern thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, look, this is your show, Tom. It's your show. Jump off a June bug. It works. I'm sold. Jump off a June bug.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to like it.
I know.
See, this is the kind of thing that the director is a good friend of his, Scott Weiper, and so the few times that I showed up to see an amazing actor, Rick Hoffman, at work. I mean, this is the kind of thing they did every day.
Oh, yeah.
Back and forth banner with the director. Well, I need to say that, and you shouldn't say this. And it was difficult. It was very difficult.
For who?
For me.
To watch?
Yes. Actually.
Are you the comic relief in the movie, or is it a serious? It's a pretty serious movie, obviously.
It's like the conscience of the movie. I basically posed the question to the audience who's watching. Basically, who's more fucked up? The people who are fighting, or the people who are watching, enjoying the fighting. I'm for a change. I play a role that actually has a good heart, and well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, it was a really cool dimensional role to have.
I really want to see this movie. It's like Lord of the Flies.
Well, let me just
like
Tom, if you don't mind, I want to say as far as Steve goes, because Steve keeps talking about my acting.
Yeah.
So this is Steve's first movie, and well, no, I mean, I've seen him before. Like I saw him in Longest Yard, and I thought he stole his scenes that he was in. And you know, here, coming down, I didn't know what to expect as far as Steve being an action star. And by watching tons of stuff and seeing the final product, and this is not because I'm sitting here, and it's not because I'm part of the film. I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to be the next action star.
Yeah, for sure. I just assumed that.
That's fine. And I'll take it. I'll take it. But I'm not lying. I'm telling you that he is phenomenal in this movie. And
this must be really exciting for you because this is a big action movie, and you can tell it's going to be.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Telling you the part. I play a guy named Jack Conrad in the movie, and what he's not telling you is that I'm a deaf mute.
Oh my God.
See what I did there?
What?
You bought it for a second, didn't you?
But you know what, you are. I thought you would have been good as a deaf mute too, but I mean
that shows my range. I mean, you've heard me talk.
Yeah.
Me as a deaf mute, I mean, dig it.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's range.
I'd still want to see that.
It's just that you see a bunch of action films, you see a bunch of action stars. They give it a shot. God bless them all. I'm just telling you, there's certain ones don't work. And it just so happens that Steve completely works.
Let me ask you this. Now, it must be, I mean, wrestling is so theatrical. You're on stage, it's a performance in front of 20,000 people. Most actors never perform in front of 20,000 people. You know, most actors, even seasoned veteran movie actors, have never stood in front of 20,000 people and performed a scene, which is not, or gotten to a wrestling match for that matter on top of it at the same time. So that's got to be certainly helpful, if not made it almost easy for you, I bet, right?
You know, I was very prepared in going in this movie. You know, it's sink or swim time, and I got to swim. And when I started getting ready for this movie, WWE called me and said, "Steve, we're going to hook you up with an acting coach." And I said, "Great, I could really use that." And I went to one guy, and he was a little, comedy oriented. This movie wasn't about comedy. And in my relationship with Scott Weiper, he had a good friend of his named Alan McRae, and we hooked up. We had a meeting. We're really on the same page. We liked each other, and I give so much of the credit to Alan McRae as far as coaching my acting. And then also when we started rolling film, Scott Weiper earned my trust, in all the rewrites he did and all of our conversations. And I told Scott, I said, "Scott, this is my first movie." I said, "Man, take care of me." And he looked at me and he said, "Steve, I'll take care of you." I said, "I guarantee you I'll make you look good." And he does. I've got a lot to learn, but I'm very proud of my performance in this movie. But it was due to a lot of people, a lot of hard work, and I also want to be able to elevate yourself to the bar that other actors set. And
this is
BS. Rick Hoffman.
Well, this is my point as far as Steve is concerned in this movie. The reason why he does such a great job is throughout the entire process of I don't know how many months you were down there for. How long? 6 months. Constantly asking questions. Constantly putting himself out there. Most actors don't do. He just wanted. And it's kind of like his career in wrestling. He is going to be the best at what he's gearing for now, because he's so open to take on this new career, and it works. That's all. And it's because of him being a very available, approachable human being. And I'm just saying
that's a big part of being the center of a movie too, right? Because you have a whole crew, and you have to kind of you're in your big movie for the first time, and then you also have to deal with all the people, and you're on a weird island. Is that difficult to manage all that?
No, it wasn't difficult to manage. I remember the first time I rolled down there in the Gold Coast, and I walked in the production office, and all this was happening, and I was so excited to be there. And I'd been hearing about all the locations, and this has been a long time coming. This movie's 2 years in the making. And I go down in production, and there's 50 people in there working on The Condemned. And I was like, man, this is exciting. And I said hello to everybody, and everybody's just kind of looking at me like I'm crazy. And I think because they've seen Stone Cold Steve Austin for so long that people expect me to be like that 24/7.
Right.
And I'm Steve Austin, and I love being that guy, but I can only be that guy on Monday Night Raw. And so that's why I'm so excited about The Condemned coming out on April 27th. Is with working with my acting coach, with Scott Weiper directing. I get a chance to be a guy named Jack Conrad, who's a complete 180 from what you see. Now, is he a badass? Well, you got to see the movie. But it finally gives me a chance to show people that I can do a little bit more than cuss at people, beat people up, flip people off, and use 4-letter words. I love doing that, but I get a chance to show a different side of me, and really, I was looking forward to doing that.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. I can't wait. Let's take the last few calls here. Got 5 minutes left. We'll power through some calls now. We call this rapid fire.
Over here.
The last 5 minutes of the show we call rapid fire. We've got a guy on Skype, and we'll get as many people on as we can right now. I promise. Okay, you're on the air. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
You're on the air. You're on the air. Okay, you're on the air. I actually admit I should not have hung up on that last guy. I have sort of a policy when they sound positive, I don't hang up, but that was just...
You're a good Samaritan.
So I apologize. Call back. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, how was it giving Donald Trump a stunner?
Man, that's the richest. This is the speed round. That's the richest guy I'm ever going to stun. He's a class act. Like doing business with him.
Yeah. Hello, you're on the air. Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
Yeah.
You're on the air. Go.
Just wondering, if you wanted me to open up a can of whoop-ass, give me a hell yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something, son. Don't you call the Tom Green show and start talking about a can of whoop-ass. That's my gig. Now hang up.
Hello, you're on the air with Stone Cold.
That's the speed round.
Oh my God.
You're on with Stone Cold.
Hey, Stone Cold, how you doing, man?
Good.
All right, cool. That was your question. You're on the air.
Dominic Montoya from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I had a question for Steve.
Yeah.
I want to know if, the whole Hulk Hogan was teasing about the match between you guys. I want to know, like, the fallout of that and why that ended up not happening.
I won't wrestle Hulk Hogan because I have a very physical, aggressive style. He's a little bit more lackadaisical. I respect him as a professional wrestler. Big star, yada, yada, yada. It'll never happen. The match wouldn't be that great next.
Hello, you're on the air.
Breakers, anybody there?
Breaker, one time.
Oh, there is someone.
How about you, Breaker? You got your ears on, son. Bring it back.
Oh, please bring it back.
Please bring it back.
How about a smoky report there, good buddy? Hey, don't you call me good buddy. I'll open up a can of whoop-ass on you. You hear me, boy? For some reason, you sounded a lot tall on the radio. Jackie Gleason smoking a batty. Remember that one?
This is our first connection with...
Keep it going.
How about you there, Barrel Roll?
Tell him who it is. Tell him who it is. Just say it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He'll flip out. I'm going to tell him if you don't.
There you go.
It'd be better with your voice. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was completely believable.
That was horrible.
That worked.
That's all right.
That's why I'm doing a talk show in my living room.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
It kicks ass.
Hey, you're on the air. Last couple of calls, okay?
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Good, good.
Cold, what do you think of the UFC?
UFC.
Oh, man, those guys are tougher than nails. I respect them, and I hope they're making a lot of money for doing what they do.
Yeah, that's just
crazy.
That's a little crazy, isn't it? Hello, you're on the air.
With Stone Cold over in Winnipeg, Manitoba for a wrestling match.
Oh, okay, yeah. Have you ever been to Winnipeg, Manitoba?
Many times. That's I believe that's the home of Chris Jericho.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
He's from Winnipeg.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Hello, you're on the air. Couple minutes left.
Hey, I've got a question for Rick.
Yeah.
You guys doing?
What's up, Tom?
You're in Bloodwork. I just want to know, I think that was a cool movie. I was wondering how it was working with Clint Eastwood.
If had it not been working with Clint Eastwood, I never would have been able to have the confidence to bring what I bring as an actor to the film. Clint Eastwood is a big fan of hiring his actors because the actors are all unique. He instilled a confidence in me to always feel like it would make sense to bring a little bit of you to any piece of work that you do. The guy could not be an easier man to work with. It doesn't take, maybe he speaks 2 words and things get done like you have no idea. The guy is a genius.
When did you get to work with Clint?
Awesome.
Thanks for your call, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, that's cool.
That was I'm famous for being in the one movie that Clint Eastwood did that wasn't successful.
What was it though?
It was called Blood Work. It was yeah.
Oh, I remember.
I didn't know you got a
novel.
chance to do that.
I got to work with him as a director, and then also did a scene with him. He could not be cooler. A quick thing. Clint Eastwood talked. We had some nice conversations. At one point, I happened to say something that he didn't understand, and his reaction was, "What?" And I thought he was mad at me because he looked exactly, it was like Dirty Harry, like going, "What?" But he just said he didn't hear me. So I fumbled for about another 18 seconds, looking like a jackass, and then I realized that he just didn't really
right.
That's
too
cool.
Well, you're going to be a little on edge just when you're talking to Clint Eastwood, no matter how long you've been working with him. Anytime he looks at you, you're going to be thinking that you're doing something wrong. I think,
and also his jokes are really bad. Like he tries to play jokes on you that are funny, that he thinks are funny, but they're not really that funny. But you act like they're funny.
Really, Clint Eastwood does bad jokes?
Occasionally, yeah.
What's a bad Clint Eastwood joke?
Well, he told me to do something that I thought was like completely out of character. I'm like, why would I do that? And he's like, I was like,
like he gave you misdirection, you mean?
But being funny.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, let's take our last couple of calls here. We've been on for a full hour now, so we're actually over now.
Yeah, I got a question.
So let's get a couple last questions in here, and you guys got to talk too because you've been waiting.
You've been waiting.
Wait, sorry. Let's look at these guys. Sorry, I hung up on him. Sorry about that. We'll get your question answered. Actually, we're not going to get your question answered. Okay, last call of the night. Skypers, go ahead.
Yeah, we had two questions. Yeah, dude, where did the Stone Cold Stunner come from? That shit's really gnarly. I really want to know.
I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'd been using the $1 Million Dream as my finish. Michael P.S. Hayes of Fabulous Freebirds fame walks up to me and he says, "Hey kid, you got a minute?" And I said, "Yeah." We went out to the ring. We got a couple of extra guys, and he showed me the Stone Cold Stunner. Now, it wasn't called the Stone Cold Stunner at the time, but Michael P.S. Hayes is the guy that invented the Stone Cold Stunner.
I don't know what the Stone Cold.
It's my finishing move.
That's your finishing move. Oh, the Stunner.
One other question. Are you reading a lot of script? Did you see yourself doing these exclusively? Or is this something you just do as
when you shooting another movie soon? You're shooting one this summer, probably.
Oh, yeah, you're cutting out there, but we trying to push the Condemned. We wanted to do really well. We're trying to find a script to start shooting ASAP. It's going to be, the ensemble's Condemned is kind of an ensemble cast. We're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more solo-driven, but I want to stick to something that I'm comfortable with, probably action-oriented, but want to tell a good story. And I want to have fun making this thing, and I want people to have fun watching it.
Yeah. Would you make a movie with The Rock? Would you make a movie with
The Rock? Yeah, if the opportunity presented itself and it was all right for all parties, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys ask one last question, okay? Because there's three of you.
Tom, I was wondering, maybe what you do.
I don't want to answer a question. No, forget it. Steve, thank you so much for coming by the show.
Thank you. You got a wonderful place here, and it was a great time being on your show.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming. I know it's been a busy week for you, so it's been awesome for you to come up here.
Tom, thank you for having me on.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So we have next week off. I will be sending in some video from Saskatchewan, and then we'll be back a week from Monday. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Rick.
You got it.
See you later. Good night, everybody. Cool.
Saskatchewan, what are you doing up there?
Fun.
Show you how I do. Rock the flows like a beat out the turkey. Eat some beef jerky. That's the way we do. What you talking about? What? Keeping it real proof like this. Down. It's like drop without doubt. Easy Mike made the beat on the X6. Don't wanna give away a bag of tricks. Keeping a real crew. Lunatics. Gonna make a video in HDVX. PBS couldn't compete with this. You wanna diss? Well then you greet my fist. Hippopotamus, daddy, would you like some sausages? My philosophy is ostriches. Grew up watching who's the boss and shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, it's my philosophy. And no one's gonna be the boss of me. Wait, stop, it's like some 41. I wanna kick it over. old school, son. I got you looking down the barrel of my gun, spitting bullets for fun. You thought I was weak, but when I speak, you run. I do run, 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 I do run, run. I'm like a nucleus of Carl Lewis's. People attack, I got nothing to do with it. I lost trust for y'all. You didn't catch my back, but I catch your fall. The media is my cipher. You need a degree in philosophy to decipher. Half the battle is between the lines. I got so much junk mail, I'm up on my inside. We decide who we want to listen to. Remember that, and maybe that'll get you through. It's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my rhymes. It's like a jungle just to clear my rhymes, like rhymes, just to clear my mind. I mean, it's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my mind. Hippopotamus, daddy, would you like some sausages? My philosophy is ostriches. Grew up watching who's the boss and shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Hippopotamus, daddy, would you like some sausages? My philosophy is ostriches. Grew up watching who's the boss and shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Yo, I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Keeping it real crew. Drop the shit like that. Easy mic, come right back. It's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my mind. It's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my mind. It's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my mind. It's like a jungle sometimes, combat with rhymes, just to clear my mind. Hippopotamus, daddy, would you like some sausages? My philosophy is sausages. Grew up with the boss and shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, on the X6. Don't wanna give away a bag of tricks. Keeping it real true, lunatics. Gonna make a video on HDBX, a PBS. Gonna compete with this. You wanna diss? Well then you greet my fist. Hippopotamus, daddy, would you like some sausages? My philosophy is ostriches. Rule watching with the boss and shit. Now I'm rapping rules, I'm talking lots of shit. Who's the boss and shit? And now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit, talking lots of shit. Now I'm rapping on the tube, talking lots of shit.